Yes, thank you, and thanks for organizing this panel. I'm glad that adaptation gets more and more attention, but we are not yet there at all. People found it difficult to understand what is now all these climate actions, climate mitigation, adaptation, what is all, loss and damage, etc.
Break it down for everybody who's watching.
Mitigation is trying to prevent that we come above 1.5 degrees, so decreasing emissions. Although we know we will not manage that. We need to continue with mitigation, but we will not manage it. Already today, for Africa, for Indonesia, for India, climate change is a reality, not to grow enough food to eat. So it's nothing for the future, something today. So therefore, next to mitigation, we need to work on adaptation, making our food systems more resilient, that we can grow food. Also, when it is flooding or droughts, that we have different water systems, infrastructure cities. That is adaptation. Then we have a third one added to that recently in Egypt. That's loss and damage, where we admitted that there is a root cause by some and there is some suffering. So that's more a financing thing. Still need to be filled in. On the adaptation, it is not enough money which is allocated now. Only 20% of what is needed is now being available. And that 20% does not find its way with business. Only 1% of the global adaptation budget is spent by business. Business is almost absent in the total adaptation thing. Although companies, and Bob and I were in a big session with 80 CEOs this week, who were really enthusiastic to contribute, but they also don't know how, where, etc. And the companies do not find the funds do not find the companies, and that is a problem what we have. But we cannot rely only on mitigation, we need to work on adaptation. Macky Sall, the chairman of the African Union, said, and the same counts for Africa, that counts for Asian countries like Bangladesh or Indonesia, India. He said, listen, we Africans suffer the most of climate change today. We Africans cost the least, also true. And we are not so sure that you, pinpointing to the West, do care enough. Now, some people said this is not a helpful statement. And I said, well, maybe it's very inconvenient, but I don't think it's incorrect. And therefore, we need to take that up. So adaptation needs to be much higher on the agenda. And we need to be able to involve the private sector also to come with new seeds that can grow when there's not enough water, with new water systems, with new way to protect cities for floodings, with new way to protect infrastructure, etc. And the technologies are there, but we have still to orchestrate it. And we need to make clear what it is. And one last thing, on mitigation, we have a clear goal. We need to keep the world below 1.5 degrees. Okay. On adaptation, we need to become more resilient, whatever that is. We don't have a clear, common, well-defined single goal, and that makes it more complicated.